Immaginato un programma che potesse avere l'ambizione di creare uomini innocenti, ma nello stesso tempo anche scaltri.
By birth, self-made person. I came from a very poor family. I was lucky to be successful in business by doing things that other people termed impossible. So I get challenged by something that is difficult, not something that is easy. For instance, I'll just give you an example, and I'm very real. Whatever I say, I'm passionate, but I don't exaggerate. I took a bankrupt company, and it's the #1 company in the world today. But I was challenged by somebody who said to me, you can either build an ethical company or successful company. What is the real problem? If I can wave a magic wand right now and say, you're in charge, I give you the authority, I give you as much money as you like, what are you going to do? I was in Greece the other day and I said, I suppose I give you the money and I pay off the debt. Where is Greece going to be 12 months from now? Exactly in the same position, because we have no leadership. Nowhere in the world we have leadership. And I'm not singling out any country. But you know what the problem is? Our society encourages that. Greece developed democracy, but when we realized it didn't work, we exported it to the rest of the world, so you can suffer as well. They make jokes out of democracy. Politicians get elected and they say, we're going to do the correct thing about our country. The moment they are elected, they enjoy a good life and they only care about the next re-election. But they never do anything for the people. So it's not democracy anymore. They use technical ways, you know, to enjoy a very good lifestyle at the expense of everybody, and that's not democratic. That is actually criminal. And whether you look at the whole world, is exactly the same thing. And now we're in a situation where the whole of Western Europe is bankrupt, because intellectually we're bankrupt. If you don't have integrity, you cannot come up with solutions to difficult problems. In 2008, for instance, when the banks stopped lending money to one another and Lehman Brothers went down and all of that, the beginning of the problems. I never fired a single person in the company. On the contrary, I asked everybody to take 3.5% cut in salary. Management took 10%, and me as the boss, I took 50% cut. I didn't fire anybody. 2,700 people I started with. At the end of the year, I had 3,900. I added 1,200 people. I gave them the money back that they took a cut, plus a bonus. That to me is what ethical leadership is all about. It's not to look at yourself, but to say, how these people are going to put food on the table. Instead, what happens is we fire people, they go on unemployment benefits, the country doesn't have money. I mean, country does not make money. A government does not know how to make money. In my experiences, whatever they touch normally goes bad. Bureaucracy, corruption, the less the government handles, the better off the country is. But we create more unemployment, which means more burden to the country, but who is the country? They take the money out of all of you. In some countries now, they're 50% taxation, 20% VAT. On what right do you have to take? What do you do with all this money? In summary, without wishing to be, it's not a negative statement. When you look at the three pillars of any well-functioning society, you have government, politics, religion, and business. Those are the three things. When they function together, you can have a good country or a bad country. None of them has ethical leadership. None. We have people going and receiving Nobels for peace while they're waging war. We make sense out of people that normally they're criminals. We have businessmen that make God their money. And I think all of these ideals, whether you agree or disagree, they need to be passed on to the next generation to say, the way we're going, we're going to have more wars, more problems, because we haven't solved any problems. On the contrary, We started now with Libya, Syria, of course you have Tunisia, Egypt, the whole Middle East is up in smoke, but we still have North Korea and Iran and Zimbabwe and Burma. Nobody has solved any of these problems. This is a statement about humanity. It's not about me and my beliefs. If you have better beliefs, I agree with it. But nobody has been prosecuted for the subprime thing, the greatest crime in humanity. Yet it's the same agencies now that they're going to rate Italy. And if they make it from AAA, AA, or from A to B, you know, a whole nation is in trouble. But what is the authority to make a judgment when they were the ones who gave AAA to the subprime products, which are the greatest fraud in history? Yet none of them is in jail. None of them is questioned, excuse me, let alone in jail. Whether Bush is an intellectual moron or a criminal or whatever, it's up to you to judge. Or Blair, the same thing. But he's free. He makes 20 million a year. For what? Oh no, we're okay. Politically, it's not correct to say these things. And I think it's my duty, as I've done with the students here in Como, to say, here is my view. You're the future. You figure it out. Because whether you like it or not, whether you agree or disagree with me, I can come back 2 years from now and you see we're not going to be in a better position because nobody has solved the problems of Europe. In other words, Greece is still overspending. I'm not going to say anything about Italy right now. I'm a guest here, and I'm not a political person. But Greece, nobody solved the problems of Greece or Portugal or Ireland. They're still spending more money than they're earning. So ultimately, whatever you call Europe, we went from saving a private institution called a bank, which I did not agree at all. We took money from the country and we gave it to some criminals. Criminals.
Abbiamo visto che è fallito il comunismo 20 anni fa e che ora sta fallendo anche il capitalismo. Okay. Cosa rimane dopo? E la seconda domanda, 35 persone per rivoluzionare il mondo non sono un po' poche, perché essere incorruttibili in 35 in mezzo a un mondo che è fatto da qualcuno in più, insomma, che è corrutto.
La realtà è che un uomo ha sempre, un solo uomo ha cambiato il mondo e intere civiltà sono state difese da un solo uomo, sono state trasformate da un solo uomo. Questo è un vecchio pregiudizio, che noi abbiamo bisogno di migliaia di persone. Magari noi potessimo produrre 35 persone qui a Como di questa qualità, veramente si sposterebbero le montagne. Quello che noi insegniamo è integrità, una visione a lungo termine e l'assenza di paura, perché la paura è fondamentalmente tutto quello che suggerisce tutte le cattiverie di questo mondo, cioè la paura è la più cattiva delle consigliere.
If I take your first part of your question, we have created divisions throughout our world by creating labels: communist, socialist, Democrats. And we're missing something here. No matter what you call a social system, we live in a very complex world. We know that some of these concepts are unworkable because we're missing something. We're missing caring about humans. We have made our own gratification far more important than the next door neighbors. Everybody enjoys, says, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Tory, Labour, Communist, Green, but we're missing a very vital part of, which is where we lost our humanity. We lost caring about our next door neighbour, but rather self-gratification is what does it mean for me? I don't give a damn about anything else. When you attack an innocent country and you kill 1 million people for no reason at all, let alone the displaced one, let alone that it's going to take 100 years before that country now functions in some form or another. What really is the basic question is, the guys who started it, they make about what, 20 pounds, 30 euros for every innocent person they kill. In other words, I will make a lot of money now. I don't give a damn about the pain I caused. I'll tell you what we need. I need 4 or 5 similar thinking Italians to take care of what do we do for Italy. And I need to do the same thing all over the place. I cannot I'm a lone voice right now, and I'm saying, stop this unethical way of life. I'm not a moralist. I'm not saying who you sleep with, what you eat, what you do. We have banned cigar smoking, but we allow people to drink Coca-Cola. I'm sick and tired of this. Every day, more liberties are taken away from us. And I cannot care about Nigeria and Italy and Peru. Some people from each country, they need to join forces together. We have all the knowledge and the capacity to do things, and we need to do that more regularly to create an awareness. The things we're doing with the courses, no other institution does it. Nowhere in the world. We're not teaching them mathematics or economics, how to go and steal money from the ordinary uneducated farmer. We don't do that. We teach them exactly the opposite. Things that you don't see in other universities. Integrity, commitment, long-term mentality, lack of fear, lack of...
In base a cosa avete selezionato questi 35 studi? Quali sono i requisiti che avete reputato importanti?
Posso integrare la sua domanda, per così teniamo i paesi di provenienza di questi ragazzi e in che cosa consiste esattamente la borsa di studio? Cioè, se mettete anche a disposizione una somma per studiare o se consiste nella cosa, e poi i limiti, che so che non è una cosa che si può riassumere in una forma, però che cosa gli insegnate?
Once I bought 4,000 books from Stefano, and I gave them to all my people at Temenos to read. It was a School for God's book. And I paid this out of my own pocket, by the way, not company money. And I gave it to all my people, and they said to me, someone that I respect opinion says, what exactly are you trying to do with that? I said, if I can make a change in one person, that was worth the investment. With this program, we limit it to 50 people. They come from all over the world. There are no borders. I have no borders. Unfortunately, I regard extreme nationalism as an evil. In other words, if I'm from Italy, I'm brilliant. But if I'm from Greece, I'm dirt. No, none of this stuff. We're just a small village. I do 186 flights a year. I see everybody. We're all the same, by the way. And in Greece, we say una faccia, una razza when it comes to Italy. But we have borders, and we have war. You know, we had wars in the past. But I'd rather think of our Pythagoras coming here and improving rather than the other rubbish that they're giving us. Borders, they don't exist. So we have students from all over the world, and we can give you the statistics. The interesting thing is your question. I don't know the answer. We are committed to making it better. How do you select somebody? How can I look at the 50 of you and say, she's good, he's not? She's hardworking, he's a lazy. I would not know it. Hopefully through the course, and I've got to take the same approach I took with his previous masterpiece. If I can infect one person with something positive. You see the children, they come from different worlds, different religions, different cultures. Some are very respectful, some are frightened, some they think that if they drink water they go to hell. And nobody can tell me where hell or paradise is. You know, all of these misconceptions, but nobody encourages the intellect of the godly thing we have inside us to flourish. On the contrary, you go to some countries, and I won't mention some European countries, I go to set up a company and they frustrate the hell out of me. So I end up going somewhere else. And I recall Hong Kong, for instance, with such fondness, because you can do things. There is nothing in the environment that tells you not to do it. Over here, I tell you, it is very gratifying for me, beyond anything else I've done, to see young children start feeling freer. They were around me. There's a lot of controversial, a lot of sensitive stuff. When you deal with religion and brainwashing that we have suffered all these years, when you talk about business doctrines, fathers, mothers, pushing children to become something, and somebody says, no, you are free, you're responsible, and you can do the impossible, and you can see them almost believing it. And I remember seeing pictures from the Second World War, Germans and Greeks that are there together and they're listening to a beautiful concert. While the concert was playing, everybody was smiling. I listened to Puccini, you listen to Puccini, we don't speak the same language, and we're friends because we hear a divine message. Thank you for your time, really. I don't know what he said, but